All right, let's go back a couple of weeks ago. How did this get out of hand, considering what Saban was saying and who he was saying it to? Private event. And a lot of times these coaches don't realize that this does go viral eventually. You might be talking, it's a home court advantage. And then all of a sudden Fisher gets wind of this. How would you describe that to somebody who's still trying to understand exactly what happened?
Right. So I was actually there that night in Birmingham, and it was a case of they only thought that the media was going to be there for 15 minutes. That was the initial ruling that was given to us. And that was, I think, Nick Saban's understanding, which was why that question about NIL to this room was put at the end of the speech, thinking that the media would be gone by then. It wouldn't be recorded on camera. It wouldn't be a story. Nobody ever kicked us out. And so I was there. There was other reporters there. There were TV cameras there. We were 20 feet away from the stage. Like if he didn't see 4 TV cameras 20 feet away from him, I doubt that he missed us, but I don't think he thought it was going to get out the way it did. I don't think there was some grand plan here on Nick Saban's part to make this a story. But I think once it became a story that Nick Saban saying Texas A&M's buying his players, it did work into his whole argument about NIL that he wants to get into the national discussion, which is the original purpose of NIL for players to make money off marketing deals has been lost in that now there are collectives and groups of boosters who come together and buy the rights to these players. And it essentially becomes pay for play where recruits are being paid to come to schools. And that is his overall point. I don't think it was part of some grand plan. And I think he almost looks better the more that Jimbo talks and the more that Jimbo seems like the more emotionally charged guy, where Nick Saban seems a little bit more grounded right now.
Yeah, Saban he didn't realize he was making it personal by saying that they bought all the players. Bought is the key word. If he just said, look, they took advantage of a window here, a loophole. We need to do the same thing. And it felt like he was saying to these businessmen, hey, we got to pony up. We want to be the number one recruiting class. Well, if you're Jimbo, and he's already sensitive about the recruits they get, that you're buying players, then he goes scorched earth on Saban, the person, and stuff going on behind the scenes. And I thought Jimbo Fisher looked worse out of this because I don't think Saban meant what it sounded like. But Jimbo Fisher, that he meant what he meant when he said that about Nick Saban.
Exactly right. It's a battle of semantics a little bit because the way that Nick Saban worded it, that Texas A&M bought their players, does accuse them of directly paying their players, which is not really what he was trying to say. He was trying to say that there's collectives of boosters that on the side pay these players, which is legal. The way that the rules and the laws are written right now, that's perfectly fine. And that's been Nick Saban's point, is that he's not accusing them of doing something wrong. He's more accusing them of doing something that would violate the spirit of the rules and the spirit of what NIL is. But when Jimbo Fisher comes out and says, there was an interview he did separately with the San Antonio TV station where they asked him, why are you so good at NIL? And he says, we're not. I don't know if anybody truly believes him on that. And I think the whole argument that we don't know about NIL, we don't know what collectives are, I don't know if anybody's truly buying that. And just to claim ignorance, I agree, it does make him look worse in this situation.